Hey, this is Tim Clark and Tom Marks from PC Gamer at BlizzCon 2015. We've both been playing a little bit of the new Hearthstone expansion, which is the League of Explorers. Comes out next Thursday.
Very
four
soon.
wings, 45 new cards, more AI bosses to play against. There's actually a break, isn't there, between the way the wings are spaced out because they've got Thanksgiving in the middle of it.
Yeah, they're doing 2 and then a week break and then 2 more.
But 45 cards, that's more than they've normally released with these expansions. Why do you think that is?
It's about 50% more. Yeah, the other adventures were 30 and 31 cards, and now we're jumped up to 45. I think that they're recognizing that people want a bigger influx of stuff. They probably noticed that the meta wouldn't change drastically from the last adventures, and they're noticing that people are getting upset with metas getting stale quicker lately, and they just responded to that.
Do you think that's going to be is that the curse of Hearthstone, that the people demand an injection of new stuff more and more quickly, and it's going to be tough for them to keep up?
I think that's a problem with most
By people, I
online
mean
games.
me.
Yeah. No, I don't think they'll be able. I think they've proven that they're able to really consistently get something out every 4 months. Whether if people want something to happen quicker than that, maybe they won't be able to keep up with that pace, but I think the pace that they've set for themselves, they'll be able to consistently do. They've proven that they have.
So of the cards they've shown, and they've shown all of them, what stood out for you? What did you like? What did you not like?
Well, that was impressive to me that I was not expecting them to give a release date. I thought they were just going to do a month from now, or like they usually do. And then they immediately announced every card, which is cool. So some cards that I really like, I like the Stack of Runts. That card was really weird. It's the 6 mana 2/6 that when it dies, it summons 3 2/2s.
Yeah.
I think that card is great. I think it's really funny, and it's also just going to be great.
I had that card. I had 2 copies of that card out on the board when I was playing Temple Escape, which is one of the challenges from League of Explorers.
Yeah.
And there's a point in that where the whole ceiling collapses and it wipes both sides of the boards, and you get actually 1 turn of warning. He says, "Oh, the ceiling looks a bit shaky." So I immediately, after that, I had 6 2/2s on board and was in pretty good shape still. And although 2/6 seems obviously rubbish, for the total amount of stats you're getting, I did the math, basic math, and it's actually 1 more point of total value than Savannah Highmane. Now obviously you can't smash in for 6 until your dude gets killed. But I think that's the kind of card that people might sleep on a bit, but will turn out to be pretty powerful.
And cards like Haunted Creeper and Dr. Boom have proven that minions that summon lots of minions at once are hugely powerful.
Yeah.
Anything that can just fill a board after death or immediately is really, really
Well, you
strong.
made the point that if you stick that card in Combo Druid, what are you going to do? Not that many people are running Silence. You kill that thing, and suddenly there's 3 2/2s on the board that could be buffed with Savage Roar. It's like a disaster.
A couple of the more themed cards I thought were kind of less interesting, like the Explorer's Hat, whereas the 2 mana give a minion +1/+1 and Death Rattle, put another Explorer's Hat in your hand, which is like a really cool, fun card. I think it's amazingly flavorful.
It's too slow though, right?
But at the end of the day, you're getting a card back in your hand that you don't want, which is 2 mana +1/+1.
The same as with that, I didn't really understand that torch. You do 3 damage for 3 mana, but then you get another card that's 6 damage for 3 mana, but it's in your deck or in your hand?
In your deck. So it's
so you may never see it again.
Yeah, it's going along with the theme of a lot of cards in this set where it'll put another card in your deck. So this is, like you said, it's 3 mana, 3 damage, just kind of direct damage. But it puts a 3 mana, 6 damage card in your deck that you might find later. So it's essentially paying for an overcosted Dark Bomb to get an undercosted Fireball later. And they have a couple cards that are like that are weaker up front, but then you get the value later.
What was that card that was like a 7/4? You could play it early on, but did you 7 damage later down the line or something?
Yeah, it was a 4 mana 7/4 that puts a card in your deck that when you draw it, you take 7 damage.
Yeah.
And so it's another idea like the Fel Reaver, where it's a very large, strong thing that you can get out earlier than you normally would, but then has some downside. But the downside is kind of pretty bad, and we did the math, and it's stats-wise, you're only getting 2 more points of stats for the mana cost. A 5/4 for 4 is baseline, and you're getting a 7/4 for 4. So it doesn't seem that good.
I guess the hope is that you just never, you play it in something very aggressive, and you just never draw that damage, which is quite likely in fast decks.
Yeah, but it suffers the same problem as a lot of other cards, which just doesn't have much health. I also liked the legendary that makes battle cries happen twice. It's a 3 mana legendary. It's a 3 mana 2/4.
Oh, that was one of the explorers himself, Brazen the Dwarf.
Yes,
Brand Brazen, something like that.
Somebody said to me that, he's 3 mana, so you can play him on turn 10, play him, and then Dr. Boom, get 4 boom bots. But my response to that was, why would you wait till turn 10 to play Dr. Boom?
Yeah.
So he's a cool card. There are a lot of like really flavorful cards like that I'm interested in seeing more of.
Of those 4 explorers, all of whom are legendary cards, the one I
Yes.
liked the best was Sir Finley Murgleton.
Yeah.
Where so it uses the new Discover mechanic, which is like Hunter's Tracking, where it pulls up 3 cards. They're normally random. In this case, it's obviously drawn from the different hero powers, the basic hero powers. When do you think that's going to work best? Which sort of decks will that suit? Because I mean, it's a 1-mana 1/3, so you could play it immediately and switch, to the armor power or the warlock's card draw power.
Well, you said earlier that you thought it was one of the strongest effects in the game, which I agree with depending on the class you're playing, right? Like if you play it in Warlock, it's one of the worst effects because why would you get rid of Life Tap? But if you're playing in Rogue, in a minion-heavy deck where you don't want to be trading like they're pushing with minions, then you can play that and you have you get 3 hero powers out of the 8 available because you can't get the one you already have. So there's like around a 40% chance that you'll see the hero power you want. And if you're looking for something like heal, like Armor Up and the Priest Heal kind of do a similar thing. So there's like, if you're looking for that effect, like you have a more reliable chance to get it. In general, I like the Discover mechanic. I think it's very cool. It's like a lot of people have already said, it adds that weird kind of cool, awesome randomness to the game, but in a very strategic way where you're given these random cards and then you have to like make a decision of what is best here. And I think that's a nice way of adding randomness as opposed to something like Ram Wrangler from TGT where it's just
Love
like,
Ram Wrangler.
I hate that card.
It's a fine card.
It's just ridiculous swings. It's not a ridiculous swing card or mechanic.
They're going at the moment big expansion, then adventure mode, then big expansion. Do you think there's a risk that that's going to just get like, I don't want to say boring, but like, do you think they need to make more substantial changes to Hearthstone to keep people interested? Because I feel like at the moment the game's hit kind of a crossroads where just doing more of the same, which is injecting new cards in different ways, is maybe not enough to keep it exciting.
I think you're right, and we touched on that a little bit in our reactions video to the opening ceremony, where it seems like a lot of people are bringing up these kind of fundamental problems that they have with Hearthstone right now that aren't going to be fixed with just more cards. But they dug themselves into the corner that people are now complaining about by releasing specific cards, right, and pushing the game in a certain direction. So there is the chance that they could dig themselves out of that by releasing other cards and shaping the meta a different way. It just remains to be seen. Or on the topic of going adventure, expansion, adventure, I think they'll probably switch that up pretty soon. I think they've said a lot that they're really not married to that format. It's just worked so far. I'd be interested to see, I'd be not surprised if they said an expansion was not the next thing they're releasing.
Okay, so that's Hearthstone's League of Explorers expansion. It's out next Thursday. We'll have a ton more stuff coming to you from BlizzCon, but for now you can check out the complete gallery of all the cards on PC Gamer and let us know what you think of them and the future of the game in general in the comments. Cheers.